How's it going, everybody? I'm Jeff Slakey. I am in the Alibi Room at Wild Irish, and I am talking with some peacemakers, some Mason County peacemakers, who have since last fall been getting together and bridging community, bridging some of the divisions that we see in the landscape across not only Shelton and Mason County, but the country really. I'm with Tammy and Becky and Jane and Linda, and we're going to get into this a little bit, but a very cool organization that is crossing the aisles and putting the good words out there to not only the Republicans and the Democrats, and in this day and age, that can be sometimes a tough one. This is an exciting thing to get going here in our county. Becky, I'm going to start with you. Tell us a little bit about the beginnings, the reasons, the why we thought this would be a great idea right now.
Well, it started with Janine from the Democrat Women calling me on the phone and suggesting or asking if the Republican women would be interested in doing community projects to show that we can work together. And we're a lot more alike than people think.
Oh, yeah.
It's non-political, and I thought it was a fantastic idea. So the Democrats came up with it, and I said, well, I don't even know how you got a hold of me. How do you know my name? Anyway.
I keep tabs. No, I'm just
well,
kidding.
I was on the, she goes, well, you're on the school board, so that information's out there. I'm like, oh, okay. And so currently I'm the president of the Republican Women's Group. And we met at Tea's Cafe and we talked for 2 hours about all the different possibilities of working together. I think it's a great thing. I think it's so important because all the chaos, you know, we're all human beings. Everybody can disagree, but still get along and accomplish great things.
I've noticed over my time interviewing so many folks in Shelton and Mason County, and I say this all the time, is that everybody I talk to wants the best for the community.
Yes.
They just have different ways of getting there.
Right.
And if we can listen to those different ways, we're able to make some breakthroughs. And included with that are good opportunities to bring groups together, especially groups that may not look like they would get together on paper, but then come away with some really cool activities and ideas. So the blood drive is one of them, right? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so the blood drive, when we got together and we talked about things that, you know, what could we do in our community, and I think Janine actually had the idea. She saw a ceremony somewhere where there was like a mixing of blood, and how, you know, blood is life and blood gives life. And so one of the things that on the list of things that we came up with, doing a blood drive for Mason County was one of them. And so there was a committee of 4, 2 Democrat women and 2 Republican women, and we sat down and made all of the phone calls and made all the arrangements. We got, what day was it, March 30th?
31st.
March 31st at the Faith Lutheran Church up the hill. We had Bloodworks come in, and we were able to get 33 pints of blood donated. It was the company that collects the blood thought it was such a fantastic outturn that they're wanting to do it a couple of times throughout the year. So we actually have another date set, June 16th from 10 to 5 at the Faith Lutheran Church. We'll be doing another blood drive.
That's amazing. And as we know, for every pint of blood that is donated, it can go to help 3 people here. So that's potentially 100 lives saved by that collaboration there. Another great working together moment here is when you're working with the veterans. And again, it's hard pressed to find anyone in our community who doesn't support the veterans on either side of the aisle. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, that was something that at our very first meeting, as we're kind of talking about, so what can we do? And we, you know, the blood drive was brought up, but it's like, okay, well, you know, we'll work on that. And April Pooler just kind of, she had a bunch of literature and she said, well, here's a great opportunity. I support this stand down through the veterans organizations. And she said, we've got to, it's happening, you know, the Friday before Thanksgiving. It's every year. And she said, why don't you guys help us out? And so it was already on the Republican women's calendar. Apparently you've been helping out for years. Mm-hmm. And it was like one of those no-brainers, like, why didn't we know about it? I mean, I'm a veteran. I'd never heard about it. But, you know, we just kind of jumped in and said, what can we do? Where can we, you know, drop off flyers and posters and help you organize. And going forward, we want to keep that partnership going. And I know this is something that's been happening in the community quite a lot. I mean, for many years. I don't know when it started, but just reaching out to veterans, homeless veterans, veterans in need, just getting them to come in, get services, get donations, get gas cards, possibly link up with, I think they had haircuts available. And I think in the past they've had some kind of like a mobile health, person come by. I think they'd like to get that going again, just to get some of these veterans who don't have access to that. And then bring them in and talk to the people down there that can help them get VA benefits if they don't already have that. So it's just a great opportunity. And again, one of those things where, who doesn't support veterans? Who would say, oh, Republicans are doing that, I'm not going to help? It's like, no, of course not.
Yeah.
That's same with the blood drive. It's like, who's going to say, no, I'm not going to go because, there are going to be some Democrats there. It's like,
well,
kind of no-brainer.
And before we get to the other big group party that has everybody been helping, I want to talk a little bit about that. So what was it like when you kind of left those first couple meetings and you'll say, well, you'll never guess who I was hanging out with. You'll never guess who I was hanging out with. And people will go, wow, why would you, how can you do that? You're crossing the line or this and that. What was kind of the feedback on that?
Oh, well, so the invitation to get together, the beginning was just breaking bread. I think, as Becky had mentioned, there was just a lot of frustrations with things going on. And it's like, we are people in a community and we know we have more in common. So we get together. Really, the original was let's get together and break bread, along with the idea of we can do things together. Coming together, knowing we have more in common. And, the rhetoric and the lack of getting things done, this people not working together. Our two women organizations, the Women Democrats and Republicans of Mason County, those two groups, we kind of knew that we had stuff going on and we could do it. We could work together. We had our first potluck. And what we kind of do, we started it off by everybody introducing, where did your belief system come from? Everybody shared their story. Oh my gosh, the commonalities, whether it was, I was born and raised in a Democrat in Mason County and lived through this. And then somebody else, their story, and it didn't matter whose it was. I'm like, yeah, I get you. And we understood that we are all the most well-intended. I mean, I believe everybody is well-intended and caring for their community people coming together. So clearly those commonalities were established. And then I think somebody said, well, that's when April mentioned the idea of a particular activity. And I think from there, we recognized that we can't change the country, but we can sure come together and make a difference. And that the two groups, not changing anybody's belief system, but recognizing our commonalities, we knew we had the ability to come together and get things done. We've gotten to know each other a lot. I do have to share my little quote that kind of came to mind that I learned along the way. It's a Native American chief, a quote from a Native American chief, and that is that the right wing and the left wing are attached to the same bird, and it takes both for the eagle to soar.
Oh, that's pretty good. I haven't heard that before.
That's and it just has taken off from there with all of the past and forthcoming and continuing activities that we've worked together. I love that when we first met, it meant that these people that we did not know, it came to us to break bread, okay, there's, not only are they tolerant, there is respect to come together. I knew they were going to be friendly, but working on these activities has really created friendships. Okay, I'm going to cry. Because we hang out, we've working on these individual committees for these activities has really developed some strong ties. We're going to get the job done.
I love it. How many people are in the Republican Women's
There's,
Club?
well, so we got 6 and 6
Okay.
In the Peacemakers.
in the Peacemakers.
Yeah,
There's-
and so more and more people are kind of
Well-
moving to this idea on both.
Well, right now
groups
we have it just as 6 on each side. When I handpicked 6 people, and some of them I asked, they're like, "No way, I'm out."
Sure.
So I got a lot of that before I got my 6 to say yes. So that was to kind of answer
Yeah.
your original question. At every meeting I talk about, at the Republican meetings, I talk about us. And so people are starting to open up. So I've got new people coming.
Maybe
You
one
know,
day
they're
it'll
like,
just be Mason County women.
right.
Just drop everything else and you
There's,
just have-
you're going to have some
I love
on
it.
both sides, I'm sure,
Yeah.
that never going to happen. But we've got new interests. So
And if I can add to that, we've also, there's been a lot of people, even people from other counties, that have asked about it and wanted to join us. And honestly, because we are so on the ground still, we're kind of like, give us a minute.
yeah.
Give us a minute. And you are going to hear about an upcoming event, I think you're going to share, where maybe we can look at how we can grow. But this first, until August, we're kind of keeping small. You know, there's independents, there's organizations in other counties wanting to, and that's cool. We invite them to support our activities that we're doing, but currently we're still kind of getting our feet off the ground together, and it's been great.
So right now we're doing a food drive.
Okay, tell us about it.
For Choice and Cedar High Schools, and they have like this building out back that has snacks, like granola bars and stuff, grab and go snacks. So we'd like to refill that. And then they have the backpack program. So that's our current projects. So we're going to set up boxes throughout the county. I asked for donations at our meetings. I've got some stuff. I'm working with Tamara
Okay.
Ingwaldson.
yeah, on that. And
Also a peacemaker.
oh, yeah, also she's one of the peacemakers. And Angela from our group, who is a peacemaker, and I think she has Christy with her.
Susie?
Or Susie. See, I'm bad at names. So there's 2. So that's what we're working on now.
Are there deadlines on this thing, or when do you like to
Well,
have it
we
by
would
the
like
school
to-
year, or-
Well, we're going to try to do it up till May or June,
Okay.
until school closes. So yeah.
And is it? I know that you're on that committee. I was on a different committee. It's kind of coinciding with when the summer months,
Yeah.
when things are
Such a
not
big
coming
need.
in so much from
Huge
the
need.
school.
Yeah.
And you know, with the transportation that students get to pick up those things from schools, so it's kind of a different venue and avenue for
Yeah.
families to get what they've been needing throughout the school year, and we're trying to support that.
So we're talking maybe a little more outreach, but how else can people learn about this and say, I want to do this as well? What are
Well,
you planning?
we did speak to, at the League of Women Voters in December. You know, we knew that there was a reporter there. We were surprised to find it was on the front page. And so there was interest generated from that. But it was, you know, my number happened to get published, and so I was getting, you know, some phone calls, and it was all positive. Like, oh my
good.
gosh, I heard about this, I read this. This sounds so wonderful. Like, you know, how do I become part of it? It's like, we're just really starting out, but we are getting more, you know, at our DEM meetings, you know, being approached by people saying, we're really admiring what you guys are doing. Some of them have been saying, you know, I'd really like to be part of it, but sometimes I don't know that I could keep my, you know, bite my tongue.
Sure.
And it's like, I said,
That's real.
you know, we don't talk politics. We talk family. We talk travel. We talk community. You know, I'm not going to change it. You know, like Jane said, we're not going to change belief systems. That's not our goal. But I've been just enjoying meeting people that, you know, didn't travel. You know, I was a teacher for, you know, many years. I didn't know Becky was on the school board. Shows how much I was paying attention. You know, but like I wouldn't have run into Tammy. You know, she works in a law office, and I don't go to a law office. So
Lucky.
I know. You know, so just meeting these new people and realizing you know, how much we have in common. Sitting at the blood drive, we had a table there welcoming people, talking to the community, and then just chit-chatting among ourselves. And it's like, travel was a big thing that, you know, mentioning, oh yeah, you know, we might go to Ireland, and, you know, Susanna, you know, piped, oh yeah, make sure that you go here and go there. And,
I love it.
You know, just that it doesn't involve politics. It involves our lives.
It's a great collaboration of two groups across the county that are working hard in their own rights and now collectively to make our area even better with food drives, help for the veterans, help for the kids, as well as the blood drives as well. I'll put the links to any sort of information that we have to share on that one, and then be on the lookout for more events where you can help join and collaborate with the Peacemakers here. What a great conversation. Again, we're in the Alibi Room at Wild Irish. One more thing.
Well, we are going to have a joint picnic this summer.
Okay.
It was just an idea that we had, and we decided let's jump on it. And it's going to be a joint women Dems, women Republicans.
The whole group, not just the Peacemakers.
Right.
The whole.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And just to have a day of conversation and
camaraderie.
Camaraderie. And
break bread and swim and play music.
In August, so we're doing it in August.
Okay.
Yeah.
August 16th.
Yeah.
I'll make sure that that's on the calendar so people know about that as well. Tammy, Linda, Becky, Jane, thank you so much for some time, and good to hear about folks that may not ever, you know, converse in normal fare are getting together, breaking bread, and helping our community. It's the Mason County Peacemakers, a collaboration of both Mason County Republican women and Mason County Democrat women together here in a great conglomeration. I don't know what it is, but it's a great opportunity for folks to really see that there's more similar we have in common than different. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.